The autumn rain drummed against the windows of Lincoln High School as 17-year-old Marcus Rodriguez slumped in the back row of Ms. Elena Winters' advanced literature class. His designer sneakers, stolen from a store downtown, tapped restlessly against the floor, while his eyes remained fixed on the gang tattoo barely visible beneath his rolled-up sleeve. To everyone else, Marcus was just another troublemaker destined for failure. But Ms. Winters saw something different. Marcus had grown up in the shadow of poverty, where dreams went to die, and hope was a luxury few could afford. His father had abandoned the family when Marcus was 12, leaving behind nothing but empty beer bottles and unpaid bills. His mother, Maria, worked 3 jobs, cleaning offices at night, stocking shelves at dawn, and serving coffee during lunch hours, just to keep their cramped apartment. The glamorous life Marcus craved seemed impossible until he fell in with the Silver Serpents, a local gang that promised easy money and respect. By 16, he was dealing drugs on street corners, wearing expensive chains, and driving cars that cost more than his mother made in 2 years. But beneath the flashy exterior was a young man drowning in anger, fear, and self-doubt. School had become irrelevant, just another place where he felt like an outsider. Marcus had failed most of his classes, racked up countless suspensions, and was one incident away from expulsion. Most teachers had given up on him entirely. Most, except for Ms. Elena Winters. Elena Winters had been teaching for 15 years, but she had never encountered a student quite like Marcus. She watched him swagger into her classroom that first day of senior year, radiating defiance and hostility. While other teachers whispered warnings about his reputation, Elena saw something that others missed: the way his eyes lit up when she read poetry aloud, the careful way he handled books despite his tough exterior, and most tellingly, the pain he tried so hard to hide. Elena came from her own challenging background. Raised by a single grandmother in rural Mississippi, she understood what it meant to feel invisible and unworthy. She had clawed her way through college on scholarships and determination, becoming the first in her family to earn a master's degree. Her classroom wasn't just decorated with literary quotes, sparkled with fairy lights, plants, and student artwork that created an oasis of warmth in an otherwise institutional building. On that rainy October morning, something inside Elena stirred as she watched Marcus disconnect from yet another lesson. While other students discussed the themes in The Great Gatsby, Marcus stared out the window with a look that Elena recognized. The expression of someone who believed they were destined for failure. "Marcus, could you stay after class for a moment?" Lena asked as the bell rang. Marcus's jaw tightened. Here it comes, he thought. Another lecture, another threat, another adult who would judge him without knowing his story. But Elena surprised him. Instead of scolding, she pulled out a worn copy of The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. "Have you ever read this?" she asked softly. Marcus shook his head, suspicious. "It's about a group of young men who feel like they don't belong anywhere. They're tough on the outside, but dealing with pain on the inside. I thought maybe you'd connect with it." She handed him the book, and Marcus was shocked to see his name written in elegant gold lettering on the cover, a personalized copy she had ordered just for him. "Why?" Marcus asked, his voice barely a whisper. Elena's eyes sparkled with unshed tears. "Because every student deserves to see themselves in literature. Because your story matters. And because I believe in you, even when you don't believe in yourself." Over the following weeks, Elena began a quiet campaign of kindness that would change Marcus's trajectory forever. She started small, greeting him personally each morning, asking about his thoughts on reading assignments, and never giving up when he responded with grunts or shrugs. When she noticed Marcus hadn't eaten lunch for 3 days straight, Elena began bringing an extra sandwich, casually mentioning that she had packed too much food again. When she saw him struggling with an essay, she offered to work with him after school, turning her classroom into a safe haven where judgment didn't exist. The breakthrough came when Elena assigned a creative writing project. While other students wrote about typical teenage topics, Marcus poured his heart onto paper, crafting a short story about a young man trapped between two worlds: the violent streets where he survived and the family he desperately wanted to protect. Elena read his story with tears streaming down her face. The raw talent, the emotional depth, the sheer beauty of his words took her breath away. Here was a young man who could paint pictures with language, who could make readers feel every ounce of his pain and hope. "Marcus, this is extraordinary," Elena told him, her voice filled with genuine awe. "You have a gift, a real gift for storytelling." For the first time in years, Marcus felt something he had almost forgotten: pride. Not the false pride that came from street credibility or expensive possessions, but the deep, authentic pride of recognition for something truly his own. Elena didn't stop there. She entered his story in a citywide writing competition without telling him. She connected him with the school newspaper. She stayed late every Tuesday and Thursday, working with him on college application essays he never thought he'd need. "What college would want someone like me?" Marcus asked one evening as they worked by the golden light of Elena's classroom lamps. Elena leaned forward, her voice fierce with conviction. "The kind of college that recognizes authentic talent when they see it. The kind that values diverse perspectives and real-life experience. The kind that will be lucky to have you." The transformation wasn't immediate or easy. Marcus still struggled with his loyalty to the gang, his family's financial pressures, and his own deeply ingrained beliefs about his limitations. The tension reached a breaking point one November evening when rival gang members cornered him outside his apartment building. As violence erupted around him, Marcus found himself thinking not about revenge or reputation, but about the essay he had left unfinished on Elena's classroom desk. He thought about the college applications hidden under his mattress. He thought about the future that Elena insisted was possible. That night, Marcus made a choice that would alter the course of his life forever. Instead of reaching for the gun tucked in his waistband, he ran. He ran from the life that was destroying him and toward the woman who believed in his potential. He found Elena grading papers in her classroom at 9 p.m., surrounded by the warm glow of her fairy lights and the scent of vanilla candles. "I need help," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I want out, but I don't know how." Elena didn't ask questions. She simply opened her arms and let this broken young man cry for the first time since childhood. Then she helped him craft a plan, not just to leave the gang, but to build the life he deserved. Elena's kindness extended far beyond academic support. She helped Marcus find a part-time job at a local bookstore, connected his mother with resources for better employment, and even attended his court hearings when past mistakes caught up with him. When Marcus expressed interest in journalism, Elena arranged for him to shadow reporters at news times. When he worried about affording college, she helped him apply for every scholarship imaginable, and wrote recommendation letters that brought admissions officers to tears. The most glamorous moment came when Marcus won the citywide writing competition, a $10,000 scholarship and a feature article in the newspaper. The ceremony was held at the Beverly Hills Hotel, a world away from the streets where Marcus had once thought his story would end. As he stood on the marble steps in his first suit purchased with his bookstore earnings, holding his award and surrounded by cameras, Marcus saw Elena in the audience. She was crying, not from sadness, but from pure joy at watching her student claim his rightful place in the world. Senior year culminated with Marcus not only graduating, but being named valedictorian, an achievement that seemed impossible just months earlier. His graduation speech, delivered to a packed auditorium, brought the entire crowd to their feet. "A year ago, I thought my story was already written," he said, his voice strong and clear. "I thought I was destined for failure, violence, and an early grave. But one teacher saw past my mistakes to my potential. Ms. Elena Winters didn't just teach me about literature, she taught me about possibility." Elena sat in the front row, wearing a golden dress that sparkled under the auditorium lights, tears of pride streaming down her face. Marcus earned a full scholarship to UCLA, where he studied journalism and creative writing. But his success was just the beginning. Inspired by Elena's example, he returned to Lincoln High School as a volunteer mentor, working with troubled students who reminded him of his former self. Elena continued teaching, but her approach evolved. Marcus's transformation had shown her the incredible power of seeing beyond surface behaviors to the potential within. Her classroom became legendary, among students a place where anyone could reinvent themselves, where kindness was the strongest curriculum, and where dreams were nurtured into reality. Years later, Marcus became an award-winning investigative journalist, using his platform to tell stories of hope and redemption. His first book, The Teacher Who Saved My Life, became a bestseller, with all proceeds going to fund scholarships for at-risk youth. At the book launch, a glamorous affair at a Hollywood venue filled with celebrities and dignitaries, Marcus dedicated the book to Elena. To the woman who taught me that kindness isn't weakness, it's the most powerful force for change in the universe. Elena, now in her 60s, but still radiant with purpose, stood beside her former student, both of them proof that one person's belief in another can literally change the world. Today, the Elena Winters Foundation provides resources and training for teachers working with at-risk youth. Marcus serves on the board, and together they've helped transform thousands of lives across the country. Their story reminds us that kindness is never wasted, that every student deserves someone who believes in them, and that sometimes the most troubled exteriors hide the most beautiful souls. In a world that often seems dark and divided, the love between a teacher and student proves that hope is always possible, transformation is always available, and that one act of kindness can echo through eternity, creating ripples of positive change that touch countless lives. The greatest glamour isn't found in wealth or fame. It's found in the radiant transformation that occurs when someone finally sees their own worth reflected in another's eyes. That's the magic Elena gave to Marcus, and the gift they now give to the world. The knowledge that every person has infinite potential waiting to be unlocked by love. Like and subscribe for more videos.